what if you turned the mirror, like you reframed your divorce? Because a lot of people are like, still, they blame obesity on a bad marriage. A lot of y'all did, or a bad parenting or bad whatever. How about you reframe it? I've never heard of it that way. Your divorce is simply an expression of the courage to take risks in the struggle to find happiness and meaning. Is so powerful. Chapter 16. Not all who wander are lost. Yesterday's chapter, a long chapter, relatively speaking. Only bad things happen quickly. This is your weight loss journey. You gotta outlast. Patience, perseverance are the qualities we need to instill in each other. We need to stop falling for instant gratification. We are being marketed to that somehow if we just spend money, we won't feel this loneliness. And so it's a marketing lie. I read that last sentence yesterday, so I'll read. I'm gonna read the last paragraph again. No, wait, the last sentence. If we believe it is better to build than destroy, better to live and let live, better to be than to be seen, then we might have a chance, slowly, to find a satisfying way through life, this flicker of consciousness between two great silences. Very long, two great silences, and our life is just this flicker of consciousness. We might have a chance, slowly. And remember, he talked about building. You can destroy a building rapidly, but it takes a long time to build something. And he talked about the war. He said he probably liked he liked the military life too much. He liked guns and rockets and stuff. But he realized that the taking of life was too rapid, too easy, powerful. You know, that it's more important. It's harder to build relationships. And he said our future, our very uncertain future, and this is so true with what's happening in the Middle East right now, our very uncertain future is a balance, is a struggle between those who want to destroy versus those who want to build. And I was like, damn, that's good shit. To live and let live, to be or not to be. You know, some of these radical groups, both left and right, they just won't let things be. Just let nature sort itself out, man. You know? Julie, empathy and hope, indeed. Not all who wander are lost, chapter 16. Americans are a linear people. We value discernible goals and see the straight... I'm sorry, I have to say how long this chapter is. Oh, a short chapter. Nice. Okay. We value discernible goals and see the straightest paths to them. Our educational system launches us on our stepwise journeys. The rules we are to follow are clear and involve obedience to authority, hard work, and cooperation with others. Original thought is prized within the confines of the hierarchical structures within which we are educated. We are taught to do what we are told until sufficient time elapses that we are allowed to tell others what to do. And this is the educational system. Sit down, be quiet, pay attention, don't think, regurgitate what I taught you. They're educating us to be workers, by the way. Of all the things that define us, education appears to be the most highly correlated with success. It is little wonder then that we are urged throughout childhood to do well in school and take our successive graduations as necessary steps toward a comfortable life. Lord knows I took all of those successive graduations and I still struggled and still went bankrupt and still was near suicide. There's a promise implicit in this process. follow instructions, please others, obey the rules, and happiness will be yours. Maybe. I talk to a lot of people, particularly men who, in middle age, feel that the bargain they struck with the system has not been kept. He's talking about me. Frequently, we are in secure jobs, own their own homes, have the requisite wife and 2.2 children, and they feel lost. Much of what they aspired to now seems like a burden. They are preoccupied with what they might have missed. Oh my gosh. Isn't that a midlife crisis right there? You are preoccupied with what you might have missed out on. Didn't party enough, partied too much, bought the wrong house, wrong time, wrong pregnancy, wrong wife, oops. They are preoccupied with what they might have missed. Among the things frequently neglected in a linear, goal-directed life is sex, sex. In a culture that is obsessed with it, practically no one feels that they have gotten their share. I mean, look at Tiger Woods. He still probably doesn't feel like he's gotten his share. This is especially significant for men who are socialized to compete for attractive women and whose sense of themselves is closely tied to feelings of sexual adequacy. No problems there for me. How else to account? I did have that growing up though, man. In my college years, felt like I had to prove that. How else to account for the traditional identity crises that have men of a certain age pursuing affairs and buying sports cars? Stop it. He's writing this chapter about me. Often they tell stories of inhibited adolescences, early marriages, unsatisfying work, and a long longing for excitement. There was a time in the 60s and 70s when youthful rebellion took the form of dropping out. Disillusioned by what they saw as a world created by their parents' pursuit of materialism and alienated by the misbegotten war in Vietnam, many of the young simply refused to pursue the traditional paths to success. Comment if you are part of the hippie generation. Comment if you wanted to go to Woodstock or went to Woodstock. Comment if you are one of the tune-in, drop-out generation. Were you part of that movement? Did you witness it in an older sibling? Or maybe your parents? Disillusioned by what they saw as a world created by their parents' pursuit of materialism and alienated by the misbegotten war in Vietnam, many of the young simply refused to pursue the traditional paths to success. This counterculture was both feared and hated by the older generation, who focused on music they could not understand, drug use they condemned, and casual sex that they deplored and envied simultaneously. That's it, right? When one generation or one group hates what another group is doing, they are envying it. And casual sex that they deplored and envied simultaneously. The fact that most of these rebellious young people grew up to be white-collar professionals. So we've talked about this before. I didn't realize until a few years ago that hippies became yuppies of the 80s. Wolf on Wall Street, what was that Michael Douglas movie about Wall Street? Wall Street, I think is what it was called. So hippies grew up to be yuppies. I never realized that. The fact that most of these rebellious young people grew up to be white-collar professionals, much like their parents, does not detract from what they learned and taught the rest of us with their pleasurable detours. And they're also baby boomers. So baby boomers are hippies who then became yuppies. And now they can't retire because they spent all that money, or very few of them can. Okay, the fact that most of these rebellious young people grew up to be white-collar professionals, much like their parents, does not detract from what they learned and taught the rest of us with their pleasurable detours. In fact, we've gone back to a lot of the psychotropics right now. It's been the rage. Forget marijuana. Marijuana's passe. They're all into psychotropics now. Mushrooms. Magic mushrooms, man. People tripping. Long before Stephen Vincent Benet put it this way, for money is sullen and wisdom is sly, but youth is the pollen that blows through the sky and does not ask why. I would say hippies were mid to late 60s. 69 was Woodstock. By 71, 72, you're starting to step into the electronic disco age in the mid to late 70s. Even now, there's a core of adventurous young people who are willing to step off the educational train long enough to see something of the world, join the military or Peace Corps, or otherwise educate themselves in ways not available in any classroom, or buy 13 cars. Later in life, career changes, marital misadventures, spiritual explorations, all can be forms of wondering that seem to depart from the norm, but may simply express the courage to take risks in the struggle to find happiness and meaning. I'm gonna read that last one again because think about, what you've done in your life. Later in life, career changes, marital misadventures, spiritual explorations, all can be forms of wondering that seem to depart from the norm, but may simply express the courage to take risks. Your divorce may simply express the courage to take risks in the struggle to find happiness and meaning. Think about that. Marital mishaps. What if you turned the mirror, like you reframed your divorce? Because a lot of people are like, still, they blame obesity on a bad marriage. A lot of y'all did, or bad parenting or bad whatever. How about you reframe it? I've never heard of it that way. Your divorce is simply an expression of the courage to take risks in the struggle to find happiness and meaning. Is so powerful. We're almost done. Back in the 1960s, these quests were sometimes called trying to find ourselves. One cynical parent suggested that in the course of an especially prolonged search, his child had time to find several people. Though a straight line appears to be the shortest distance between 2 points, life has a way of confounding geometry. Often it is the dalliances and the detours that define us. In other words, the wondering. It's the wondering. It's the not knowing. It's the messy. It's the messy middle that define us. There are no maps to guide our most important searches. There's no maps on, and he set us up for this shit. There are no maps to tell us on how to fall in love, how to pick a partner, what to do in midlife, how to parent. There are no maps to guide our most important searches. We must rely on hope, chance, intuition, and the willingness to be surprised. Every fucking line in this book you could highlight. That last sentence, y'all. I mean, if you have a copy of this book, you need to write this down in your journal. We must rely on hope, chance, intuition, and a willingness to be surprised. Comment, there are a lot of people who, everybody says they love to be surprised until they're surprised. And then they don't want to be surprised. I don't like to be surprised. Don't surprise me. I'm a surgeon. I'm a control freak. Type A personality. I need to know what's happening. Rarely am I pleasantly surprised. Why, Dr. V, do you not like to be surprised? Because rarely am I pleasantly surprised. If you think about a high performer, tested out, every graduation like we talked about, even, top of the class, all A's my whole life, great scores on standardized exams, intern of the year, resident of the year, chief resident, I still failed at my first practice. Became a world-class surgeon, yada, 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 right? It's very unlikely that someone's going to surprise me. Someone's going to do something that's up to that standard. That's why I love to eat at fancy restaurants, because that's an area I know I can't do. That's why I like to go visit farms, because I know that's a level of gardening and food production like mind-boggling. That's why I love to learn about aquaponics or whatever, or carpentry, or laying tile, or woodwork, or beautiful designs, or ironwork. Like, it's shit that's like mind-blowing stuff. The Genius MacArthur Award stuff. Like, that's why I love like amazing poetry. That's why I love this book, because I cannot write like him. I mean, the fact that he calls it the geometry of life, like, it just messes you with the geometry. It's not a straight line. We think that life should be a straight line up like this, and you've seen that infographic. It's all like this. I forgot, speaking of which, we were in the pediatrician's office yesterday and got the rotavirus vaccine and the pneumococcal vaccination. And they were like, do you want a flu vaccination? I'm like, I wouldn't, because, I'm not a big fan of the flu vax. And she says, well, they show that really prevent illness. And I looked at her like that, and she goes, well, severe disease. I was like, yeah, severe disease. And I said, no. And I said, well, we think she might have had COVID last month when Erica had COVID. Because she goes, doctor was like, did you test her, get a positive test? No, we didn't test her, but she had a low-grade fever. It was one night. It's like, I said, I don't think she had it. Erica thinks she does. So we don't really want the COVID vaccination either. Make these choices. She gets the vaccinations that we decide on, and then we go to lunch. She's doing fine. She cried during her shot. Gave her a bottle of milk. She was fine. And sure enough, 3 in the afternoon, she's pretty cranky. We got home at 2. She's pretty cranky. I said, when we get home, we'll give her some ibuprofen. So I gave her a dose of ibuprofen. She was better. She took a nap. Last night before bed, I gave her some more ibuprofen because she was crying again. She had a fussy night. Midnight, she was fussy. 2 a.m., Erica wakes me up and she's like, this baby's been fussy. She said, Doc, go sleep in the guest room, otherwise you won't get any sleep. I said, really? Do you want me to take care of her? And Erica goes, no, I'll take care of her. And I said, okay. I said, let me go make a bottle and get some ibuprofen. It's been 6 hours. She can have some more ibuprofen. So I we're out of ibuprofen. And this morning at 7, she started crying, so I made a bottle and took it upstairs, and Erica's changing her diaper, and she's like, oh, this baby, I was up to 4 in the morning. I'm so tired. She didn't fall asleep till 4. She got so hot. And this is a reaction, obviously, from her booster, because that first shot primed her. A month later, she gets the second dose, and now she's having the reaction. And so Erica's like, I'm so sleepy, I'm so tired. And I said, I'll do baby duty tonight. And she goes, you better, I'm so tired. And it's a small example of life's little detours, you know what I mean? It's these small little blip, blip, blip. Like, it's not linear, but it's all gonna be okay. You're not even gonna remember this, a week from now, a month from now, much less 10 years from now. You're not gonna remember which is 10, running, healthy, happy. But you will remember if, Eric and I get a divorce because we can't handle a baby crying at night, right? Or Erica loses her impatience with my, oil leaking cars leaving spots in the driveway, or running up the credit card, or whatever, So I paid off my credit card bills. you know, I charged the BMW $18,000. It's 2016. I'm telling you, man, 2016 BMW. I traded in the Audi for $4,500. I got a $4,000 warranty. I said, you know, Richard, I want, you know, drive out price 18. It was 17.8, and it was 18 because I charged the card, and they're like, we're gonna add 3%. They passed the fee on to me. I said, fine. So I charged it on 3 different credit cards, and then paid them off. And because I did that, I renewed my companion. It renewed my companion pass for Southwest for next year. So I said, Erica, I thought it was gonna take me to December. I'm done. And then she has like 100,000 points now on her credit card, her Southwest credit card, which I use. And I just bought like, I don't know, $1,600, $1,700 worth of credit card, worth $1,700 for airline tickets with using my points. And I was like, Erica, I think we should, I should make Mason my companion. She flies for free, and we can start using your credit card for points, and I can start charging your credit card so you can get more points, because I don't really need points on my credit card anymore. And then maybe you can have a companion pass, and then by the time you get a companion pass, we'll put Milani, because you know she flies free till 2. But hopefully by then you'll have a companion pass, and then we're really all flying for free, or the 2 kids are flying for free. These are those funny things about life, you know, in the book. What the fuck does that have to do with the book, Dr. V? He's talking about there are no maps on how to navigate life and life's little journeys. And you have to, and the other day he's talking about wisdom, you know, aging, experience. We value youth and beauty, physicality, athleticism over what wisdom and experience can give us. And I'm like, you know, like if we used our credit cards this way, we get all of these bonuses. I'm gonna buy the fucking car anyway, so why not use it that way? And we're going to Albuquerque because she wants to throw a surprise party for her grandmother, the one who had the stroke, who might not even go to the party because she's pretty embarrassed. And I think it will probably be her last birthday and probably her last Christmas, because she's mentally all there, but she's physically she really rarely gets out of bed. So Erica wanted to do it. I said, man, I would, because you'll regret it if you don't. You know, it could be her last one. So this is the navigating of life, where you try to maximize the happiness and minimize the misery. Always learn from your mistakes. But I can see, like, I'm saying, Erica, you know, you're going to go and you're going to throw this party, and there's going to be some family members that are going to cause drama and stuff, and you just have to learn how to control those emotional pitfalls and not get involved, not get wrapped up, not ruin Sober October, not blah, 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 you know. I don't mean to, I'm not preaching at her, but you get the idea. Okay, love y'all very much.